All right. So, new treasure, Cosmic Heroes HOARD 2025, released after TI. I assume in celebration of TI. Been a while since I've done one of these, but I'm excited to do them again. I have a lot to say about these sets after thinking about them for like the past 12 hours. So, oh my goodness, I keep forgetting there's 17 of these things. The thing that I find curious is that these are $2.99, whereas like pretty much in the past that price has only been reserved for collector's cash. So why now are we just I hope this doesn't become the normal treasure price, because that would be kind of awful. Yeah, I don't I guess money, Anyways, let's just dive into the sets. This is Torrid Twilight for Spirit Breaker. I do not know who it's by because it didn't show up on the workshop. I think I'm just left to assume that this is a Valve made because, again, it didn't show up on the workshop. I'll say the two most striking things. Firstly is the actual bull mask. I want to say this is a mask. I don't think it's a face. It does a good job at conveying like Spirit Breaker's celestialness. The fact that like, because like base Spirit Breaker, he has like a face, right? Like there's something to connect him to Earth. Whereas like here, this is much more astral, alien looking. Even though it still resembles a bull, it's like, I don't know if this is its face or not. And all we get is like the glowing energy from its eyes. I also love the effects on the mace. This is sick. I love how it's kind of hard to tell what's part of the model and what's a particle effect. Very, very cool detail. I will say, not a big fan of how the legs are looking. These look kind of unfinished. But again, of course, you're not going to see that in game. But counter argument to that, there are a lot of sets in this treasure with features that you'll never see in game, but I think are really cool. But yeah, this is solid. It's all right. I think Spirit Breaker has probably one better skin than this, but this is pretty darn good for Spirit Breaker sets as a whole. All right, next we have the Graviton Blackguard for Enigma, and this is by Dr. Robo. The first thing I noticed about this, because of course I did, is that it shares a lot of visual similarities with the Razor Arcana. Which might sound crazy, but like the purple tornado, the night, or the helm with the visor, the vertical slit visor, as well as the midriff showing. These are all things that we see in Razor's Arcana, as well as like the shoulder pauldrons that go like way back. So I thought that was interesting. Second of all, I love the theming though. I think Enigma in a helmet like this looks really darn sick. I do have a problem with the tornado though, because we see his like solid body right here, right? But then below this belt, it's just all chaotic swirliness, and we don't get a hint of that just like above the belt. It doesn't feel like there's a smooth transition between all this going on down here and then this like solid, formed, orderly thing, orderly bit of Enigma's body. So I don't know. That just degrades the visual cohesion a bit for me. I still think it's insanely high quality, though. And as for the Eidolon, I think it's aight. One of my friends mentioned that it looks like a StarCraft probe, which I kind of have to agree. Yeah, the Eidolon's alright. I think there are better Eidolon models out there, but, this is pretty cool. And as for the set itself, yeah, Enigma doesn't have that many sets to compare to. Nothing like, Juggernaut or like Murano's catalog, but this is pretty cool. I would say it's kind of hard to say if this is his best one yet, but I don't think anything is beating like the Maelstrom one where you know what I'm talking about, right? Where he has like one eye and he's like all covered in like white bark essentially. That one I think is still his best set, but this is easily top 3 though. And this is Umbral Expanse for Void Spirit. This one does also not show up on the workshop, so I assume Valve made this. I wish I could say I was impressed. I really like the colors on this one. Oh my goodness, whoever did the color choices absolutely cooked. I love the golden beard, the scythe. It's all like this nice smooth banana color. But like, I don't know, there's not really a wow factor for me. Like, we already have a Void Spirit set where he's dressed in white. Again, like, nothing about this says use me over other Void Spirit sets. Nothing about that screams use me. I do like this though, like peering into the... Oh my goodness, this is what I was talking about. The detail of the golden light from within the sleeve is wicked sick, and I love the contrast against this skin with it. It's so darn cool. I also like how he has yellow light coming from his eyes instead of the usual, like, purple. But again, I feel like the skin just lacks a lot of cool details that are so prevalent in other, not only just Void Spirit skins, but sets in this treasure as well. So yeah. And next we have Frozen Nova for Ancient Apparition. Again, I'm going to assume this is by Valve because it just didn't show up on the workshop. And I'm noticing something behind all the Valve sets. They all kind of love their flat, you know, matte surfaces. I mean, sure, there's like some shiny bits, there's some luster here and there, but there's not a lot in all of these sets. I guess you could argue Void Spirit, but like his cloth, you know, the garbs he's wearing aren't really, I don't want to say glossy because that's not the word I'm looking for, but you kind of get like I'm talking about like this, like the metal on AA's hand. It's not very lustrous. It's a neat little design choice. Again, I don't think AA. I mean, there could be an interesting AA set where he's all blinged out, but I don't know. I honestly think AA has better has better sets than this. I mean, of course, you know, the model fidelity and texture fidelity are off the charts, but again, I mean, I guess the headpiece is a wow factor for me, but like not really. I feel like the community is outdoing Valve's own artistry right here. I do like how he has a unique head. Like, it's not, like, a lot of set makers will, like, keep AA's head, like, normal. Like, it'll just be his head with the two eyes and that's it. But no, this, like, completely replaces his head with this, like, star-shaped thing. Which is a cool, really cool design element. I just wish the rest of the whole set just had a bit more pizzazz, you know? I do like the fact that it's not exactly clean and polished up. Like, you can still see some, like, holes in the armor and all that stuff, which, you know, is cool. You know, you ask yourself, why is it doing that? Is it just because it's, like, old? But again, why, if it's old, how is it this lustrous? Maybe, you know, where's some, like, frosts creeping around the armor? That could have been a cool detail if Valve wanted to make it so this set looked lived in. But, like, a few holes here and there, I don't know. It doesn't really sell me on it. On the idea that this is supposed to be a like a worn and torn AA set. And next we have the Photax Fluttercat for Marana. This is by Lilian Lay, and it is easily Marana's best set, including the persona. I don't care what you say. I've already established my beef with the Marana persona, but this just knocks everything else out of the park. Oh my goodness. I don't know what Lilian did to, like, the face, but Marana's face looks, you know, it actually looks good. I also love the color switch up. Implementing green into Marana's color scheme is such a cool idea, especially when you have, like, these purple and golds and a lot of whites playing into it. It establishes a more foresty vibe, and that is so sick to see on Marana. Now, initially when I saw this set, I thought there was like a model bug or something because I saw like two pairs of front feet. But no, that's just intentional. It's because it's like a moth, you know. But during like animations, like when this thing is walking around, I don't know, it kind of looks a bit awkward to see the 6 legs moving at once. Again, you might see it in game, but you're not gonna like focus on it in a team fight or anything. But yeah, the mount as well is amazing. Like the animations on the wings fluttering, the blinking. It's wicked sick. Additionally, this comes with an immortal, which is the bow. It changes secret arrow, and it leaves like a moth trail behind. Which it looks alright. But if you're getting the set, don't get it for the immortal. Get it for this, because This is so awesome. Like the fairy vibe to it is out of this world. It's not like, Dark Willow fairy vibe, right? This is like your foresty, medieval, don't tell the fairies your names type vibe. Like I almost want to say Spiderwick Chronicles, but Spiderwick Chronicles is a bit like gross. It's like cleaned up Spiderwick Chronicles, and this is awesome. It might be my favorite set of this entire treasure, but we'll see. And next, we have the Photonic Father for Zeus. This is another Valve set, because I couldn't find any trace of it on the workshop. Again, I want to call back to one of the treasures. Oh, I forget exactly what treasure, but it had a Zeus skin in it, where he looked like a mad scientist. And that was like... And I said that's easily my, the best Zeus set ever. Just because it switches up the theming. Because, like, all Zeus skins have this problem where they just put Zeus in different types of gold armor and call it a day. And I'm so glad that this is not one of them. Having Zeus be, like, a wizard, I think, is so... It's such an interesting concept. Like, it kind of somewhat feels obvious. Not as obvious as, like, the mad scientist, but like, this is so darn sick. I love the execution as well. This, of course, like, he has a lot of character traits that call back to, like, the old wandering wizard. But it doesn't feel all that like that all the time, if you get what I'm saying. Like, he doesn't have this, like, one big, great robe that he's on. Like, no, he has, like, sleeves, and he has a belt that he has. So he still holds his, like, shape language and silhouette. I love the hat. I will say there is a bit of a clash where the hat looks, patched up and stitched together, and it's kind of like loose and a bit, it looks worn a bit. But then you have his like his like robes, which have these like constellations. It's brushed up. There's no like signs of patching or stitching or anything. Which it's a bit of a disconnect. I don't think it hurts the skin's cohesion all that much though. I do like the gradient on the beard as well, how it trails down into blue. That's a nice touch. As well as the constellations that are animated underneath the hat. You are never going to see this in-game, unless there's some animation where Zeus does a backflip or something that I don't know about, but you are never going to see this in-game, and yet it's so darn sick. I also like the little... I don't know what this is called, but I assume it's to, like, measure stars, just, based on the whole theme of the set, and the, TI in general. And I also like the book. The book is cool. I think I'm gonna have to put this at Zeus's second best set, just because, again, it's not just Zeus in gold armor, Alright, and this is Star Sage for Phoenix by Solmir. Phoenix is now an owl. I love the animation they did with the head. The blinking adds a lot to it, I think. I don't know if the eyes move around as well. Okay, they do. They do. Which is inaccurate, because, fun fact, owls actually can't, like, move their pupils around. They have to just move their head for all that stuff. Anyways, kind of irrelevant. The egg is really sick. I love the egg. I appreciate the consistency and shape language between the main form and the head, because, like, if Phoenix would stop moving around, I could explain this. He has, like, this crest on his head, and then in the Supernova version you can see that as well. It's a neat little touch. I also like how the egg isn't, like, full. Like, it's more like this owl thing, just chilling in, like, the egg shell. Additionally... you get a different set of wings. If you want your owl to be purple instead, you can make it purple. Which is cool. I couldn't tell you why, other than that it's fun. But yeah, I won't complain about it. The purple wings look pretty darn sick. And so does the set. I don't think it's Phoenix's best set. But my goodness, does it make a good contender for it. Alright, up next, we have the Astral Schism for Sven. This is another Valve set. It has a lot of, like, the luster stuff that I talked about with, like, AA set. It actually looks a lot like AA set from the purple and the shade of silver that they use for the armor. Oh my goodness, I never noticed this effect on the cloak. Cloak? Cape? Yeah, cape. You can see like the stars twinkling in it. That's pretty cool. The God Strength version of this is pretty sick. Besides one thing. What? Sorry, my cat was meowing. When you use God Strength, you notice how the sword is like glowing? The glow on the sword stays blue. It doesn't turn to red. Which is like the one detail that I'm like, well, you know, even though like, you know, the effect on the arm is red, you know, Sven's hair turns red, everything else is like, you know, red, even the purple turns red, except the sword glowing effect. I would understand it better, you know, I would understand this more if it was like a community-made set and there was like some, you know, communication error between Valve and the set maker, but this is like completely from Valve, so bit of a slip up there on their end. Again, I don't think it's all of that if you stand this next to Sven's other sets. But you know, it's good for modern standards. I'm not the biggest fan of this gauntlet, though. Or not the gauntlet, but like just the glove. The glove feels kind of wonky and low quality in a weird way. I hope I don't sound insane here, but I don't know, like the shade of blue just doesn't like match up with really anything. Maybe like the start of his hair here, but like, again, it's like one of the brightest things on the set. Like, why do they want your eyes drawn to the glove of all things? Shouldn't it? Well, I mean, of course, there's also the sword, but shouldn't it be like more or less the helmet? Like, if you're looking at the set head on, like this, Sven is looking directly at the camera. This takes up a lot of space on his body that your eye is drawn to, rather than the helmet or the sword. But other than that, it's alright. It's alright. Alright, next we have Narwolf Nebula for Crystal Maiden, the Persona. And this is by Yestar. Yestar has been hitting banger after banger, and he continues to deliver with this. I mentioned in my Persona review how Crystal Maiden, like the default Crystal Maiden, has, you know, gold elements. Like, she has some warm colors in her design, whereas the Persona does not. And here we see some of those, you know, that gold that I was talking about implemented into the Crystal Maiden Persona, and it looks pretty darn good. I find the earrings a bit of a weird detail. Are they even in the ears? I mean, I guess kinda, but like you'd expect them to be like up here or something, right? I love the orbiting stars that are around. Sure, they clip into the wings, but you know, Yestar couldn't really do anything about that. That's just part of the model. I like the unicorn horn. It's a very unique feature. If this wasn't Crystal Maiden, I think this would be better. Just because like the identity of the Persona is so ingrained in my mind, and I loved the, you know, the idea that, you know, there are no warm colors on this thing. It's completely cold. But I still don't know what to think of the gold. I'm torn on it. It makes the set look amazing. It gives it some like pop, but at the same time, I don't really enjoy what it does to CM's or the Persona's design, as it were. I do like this effect on the tail and on like the wings. This looks amazing. I haven't demoed it yet, but I know like the Crystal Maiden Persona will like leave a trail of like, you know, the northern lights behind her when she walks. I wonder if she leaves like a trail of stars with this one. I don't know if Valve would allow that to implement it. I know it says ambient effects, which is probably what the tail is, and maybe some stuff on the crystals. But that would be a cool thing to see. I also like the hair on the neck that goes upwards. It almost acts like a collar for the dog, which is pretty cool. It's tough to like rank among the other Persona sets. There are definitely some that are better than it, but there's like, I think the one where she has like the wizard hat is, oh my goodness, is maybe a bit better. Yeah, it's all right. 1 second. All right, next we have Chrononaut Continuum for Faceless Void. This is another Valve set, which I was surprised by because it feels like something that the community would make. From, you know, this dash of pink. Oh my goodness, the dash of pink makes this look so good. As well as like the different arm as well. This feels like something that would come out of the community, but no, this was Valve made. You can tell because it's the same level of luster on their metal as they've done for like the other sets. It is integrated into the Arcana, and I will actually show you this because it looks so sick with the Arcana. Oh my goodness, look at that. I love how, like, the fabric drapes over his arm. And, like, it just all looks natural. You know, because the rest of the Faceless Void Arcana armor is, like, green and stuff. But this, like, jives with the purple and, like, the pinks so well. And additionally, it is amazing with the second style. This works wonders with the second style. It gets rid of, like, you know, all the wonky blue elements that the Arcana second style tries to bring into it, and it's like, wow, this really is, like, good with, like, the pink and the white. This is actually going to make me get the second style on Faceless Arcana, just because, holy crap, it looks amazing with this set. But yeah, I think that is this is Void's best set, easily. No questions asked. Alright, and this is Cosmic Cartographer for Marcy. This is also by Yestar. And I'm gonna be real. I got this. The first thing I did with this set when I got it was that I changed the headpiece. I love the fact that there are so much detail on, like, the gloves and the boots and, you know, the cloak that, you know, blows in the wind and, like, the basket and all that stuff. But then we have this, like, the hairstyle is alright. What I have a problem with is the hat. I don't feel like the hat sits on Marcy's head very well. Additionally, I feel like it clashes with, like, the rest of the set. Because, like, the rest of the set, this looks very, like, realistic. Like, it's very realism inspired, as it were. I've heard people say that it's, like, inspired by Claire 33. I haven't tried that game. I probably should, because everyone's been raving about it. But when you have this, like, you know, serious, you know, these, like, dark brown gloves that have, like, you know, fabric lines in them as well, so it's made to look, like, realistic. But then you have this, like, goofy looking swishy hat with, like, the plume in it, and I don't know, it really clashes with the rest of the set for me. I will say the backpack with the breadbasket and the bow, like, kind of help, but not a whole lot. I think, you know, my main statement about this set is the hat is a bit too overboard, and it's my least favorite part of the set. Next up, we have Reaper of the Waning Veil for Phantom Assassin. This is made by Chameleon, and it's cool. I think the weapon and the headpiece are my favorite part of this set. But the problem is, like, the rest, like, they don't really fit with the other PA Persona sets very well. I do like how conservative and dark it is. You know, the base PA Persona, you know, shows off a lot of skin, but this, not so much. It looks more realistic, I would say. But again, it lacks, like, a wow factor. I think the weapon is trying to be that, but, like, I see this crescent moon blade, and I don't think it does enough to sell me on the concept so far. Obviously, there's, like, a lot of cosmic elements in this set from, you know, the star pendants and all that stuff on him. And, like, the crescent moon shape of the blade. Oh, I just noticed. There is, if you look closely, there's, like, a hand that's, like, holding the blade. I just noticed that. That might bump up my ranking a bit. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I have a gripe with this, right? And I don't know if this is just me, but for, like, the past few, actually, I think every single PA Persona set has had this, where the dagger that he's holding is curved. Now, my problem is that this is a throwing dagger, right? And it's not like something that spins in the air when he throws it. When he throws it, it goes in a straight line. So how is a dagger that is curved gonna, like, pierce its target when it's curved and it's going straight? That's the one gripe that always kills me about all the PA Persona sets that are made, is, like, they always curve the dagger, and it's like, why? That ruins the practicality of it. Even though I know obviously it doesn't come into effect during gameplay, but I'm always gonna be thinking about it in the game. And it drives me insane. But yeah, I'll probably use it here and there. I think the Jester-themed one is probably still my favorite. Again, bias, I know. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Next, we have Flame of Origin for Lena by Seeing Triangles, another goated workshop artist. The first thing I thought when I saw this is like a superhero costume. Like, if you get rid of, like, these drapes and all that stuff. Like, this is just a superhero. I don't want to sound like an uneducated fool when it comes to superheroes, but I think there's a hero in the Marvel Universe called Phoenix that would kind of look like this. Again, I'm probably wrong about that. But, that's just what I've noticed. I like the change of the particle effects on the hands. I feel like the past few Lena sets have done this, because like the base effects on default Lena with the fire in the hands just look so 2011. We're finally seeing some updates, which is so darn sick. I like that it changes like the skin color to where like you can, it almost looks like it's, you know, a fiery person. Like maybe this isn't human because of how fiery and like glowing the skin of this person is. And I like that it's contrasted by like the dark fabrics of everything else, which is a pretty neat thing to see. Now, as for the second style, this is a theory of mine, but notice how in the first style, you know, all the drapes are like intact. Now they're like in tatters. So I'm thinking that they're going to rework Lena's Arcana, and the second style will be much more like a more redder, like, you know, more burning fire than style 1. And that's why we have, like, you know, the changes of the drapes, and obviously everything is much darker and redder here. Again, I'm probably going to eat my own words. I don't know if Valve will actually rework an Arcana, just because, like, you know, the Lena Arcana is a classic, because it's, like, bad, and it's also the first one. But I guess we'll see. Alright, next we're into the rares, and these are all made by Valve. As far as I know, because none of these are on the workshop. And first up, we got the Interstellar Astrarium for Tinker. This calls back to the Zeus, the whole Zeus concept I was yapping about earlier, where instead of like a mad scientist, he's a wizard, he's a sorcerer. He's got like, you know, the sleeves with stars on him and like the, you know, the magic sigils on his like controller things, and it doesn't look very high tech. Like it looks like, you know, Renaissance tech with like a magic flair to it. That I think is really cool. This is an amazing aesthetic for Tinker. Additionally, it comes with an immortal for March of the Machines, which is pretty sick. I think that means that it's here to stay. They're not going to like remove this like with Rocket Barrage. Rocket Barrage? No, it was Homing Missiles. That's what it was called. Which, hey, you know, that's good. There are a lot of moving parts of this Arcana set. Between like the black hole thing that opens and closes, and this like telescope that just keeps sliding up and down, and then everything that's going on in like, I think this is the laser one. This might be the machines one. I think this is the laser one. But yeah, everything going on with the laser one. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts. I wouldn't say it's exactly distracting, just because normal Tinker just is a very noisy design. So I think this is alright for Tinker. I think this is, again, I throw this around a lot, but this is probably his best set just because of how well it changes the concept and how well it executes it. Also, he has like the little March robots on his belt, which is a really cool touch. And next, we have Pisces Gemini for Ogre Magi. Fishy. If the Jakiro set didn't exist, this would be Ogre's best set, easily. Like, this is such a... Again, I should have prefaced, this is made by Valve, as far as I know. What a cool idea for this character. I love how, like, both mouths are animated to, like, accompany this. Because, like, there are a lot of sets where, especially Sand King, where his mouth is changed, and then all of the animations for him talking are just completely broken because of that. But it's cool to see that they wisened up for this one, and that's not a problem. Something you may have noticed. Yes, there's animation changes and ambient effects and model and you know, all that stuff. But then we have Augments Arcana. And I was like, what does that mean? Where is Ogre? There he is. Again, I don't have the Arcana, so oops. I didn't get to my 90th percentile. But anyways, it's an axolotl. The chicken, it's an axolotl now. Not a very detailed one. It's pretty basic. But it's an axolotl, which is pretty sick. If I look at this clipping long enough, I'm going to go insane. So I'm going to look at it like this now. But that is so darn sick. There was so much work put into this one. Hot take, this should have been the ultra rare. This should have been the ultra rare. Especially the second style. Oh my goodness, I love the colors on this. Because we see like the yellow on Ogre's fins and like the cape and all that. And it connects with the color of the axolotl. And it's like little fins. It's such a cohesive piece. Okay, you know what? I know we love the Jakiro set for the memes, but this is actually Ogre's best set. Actually. No questions asked. This is goated beyond belief. And next we have Leonid Luminosity for Luna. Again, a Valve set. And a pretty darn good one. This might be a bit of a deep cut, and not all of you might understand what I'm referencing here. But this Luna set reminds me of two things. Firstly, it reminds me of the Nox from Elden Ring. They had pretty similar like headpieces to this, and they wore like all white robes and all that stuff, and they were obsessed with the concept of night and stars and all that stuff. And this also reminds me of the if anyone has watched Rings of Power, like the Amazon Prime show that like sucked and flopped, and I hate it. But it reminds me of like the Wanderers. From that show, because again they have like a lot of similar design concepts with like wearing white head coverings and robes and all that stuff, and also the shield. Pretty darn cool. Again, the wow factor here is the lion. The lion and Luna herself aren't really all that connected all that well. I don't see a lot of astral elements in Luna's outfit very much. Like all we have is like, you know, the purple blades and the purple shield that like resemble the moon in more ways than one, right? But that's kind of like it, I guess. It's kind of hard to make this mount fit with other sets that you enjoy, though, just because a lot of Luna's skins are kind of old, and the model fidelity would just look wicked off if you like pair up another set with this. I think this was deserving of a rare, very rare. I don't know, especially because some of the basic sets have like immortals and all this other stuff, and then. And second styles, and this is just Luna with no changes to abilities or anything. So, it could have been Ogre. And lastly, we have the Intergalactic Obliterator for Earthshaker. ES Arcana is back, baby. And the only reason that it's back is because of this set. I am not impressed by this set at all. Here's the thing about these Arcana sets, right? You know, we saw it with Wind Ranger and all that stuff. It has to look good with it has to look good on the hero without the Arcana. Okay, this is what I was talking about. Like, compared to Earthshaker's other sets, this just doesn't impress me. It's carried by particle effect slop. Again, the model quality and texturing and all that stuff is insane, but like, there's no pizzazz to it. You know, the totem is like the most interesting thing, and it kind of looks like some sort of brutalist corporate design. Like, this is something you'd see on like your news channel as like a transition. You know? I'm not very impressed by this at all. It's very geometric, which is cool to see on Earthshaker. The problem is that the Arcana set... Wow, that looks weird. Is that the Arcana set does the whole geometric thing, but it does it... Can I get the full set, please? But it does it better. You know? Hang on a second. What did they do to this thing? Am I going crazy? He has brace... Okay, the Earthshaker kind of has, like, bracers now. He didn't have that before. And also he has a different totem. Because this is a planetfall weapon. This is the totem that Earthshaker is supposed to have. This is... Am I going crazy? Is this new? Why is it a triangle? That's so weird. Okay, well, I guess. Yeah, not impressed by this one. And the changes to the regular Earthshaker Arcana are kind of sus. But, yeah, outside of that, there are some sets I really enjoy here. Mostly the community ones. The Valve sets are a very, very mixed bag for me. And, I think we should just let the community cook for a bit. Except for the Ogre. The Fish Ogre. Valve can have this. They won me over with this one. Anyway, that's it. Anyways, that's it for this treasure quick view. Let me know what you thought about this treasure in the comments below. I would love to have a discussion about this one with you guys, just because I think this one stands out from the other ones we've gotten in the past. But anyways, yeah. God bless, and until next time.